A Jammu and Kashmir police constable, Jawaid Dar, who was abducted by the Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists from Shopia, was found dead this morning. The police personnel's bullet-ridden body was found in a village in Kulgam. The cop was abducted by 2 to 3 terrorists from a local medical shop. The incident took place late last evening. In fact, the terrorists are believed to have arrived in a Santro car when the abduction took place. A wreath-laying ceremony was held for the martyred constable earlier in Shopia, with the former Chief Minister, Omar Abdullah, condemning the constable's killing on Twitter. Sources meanwhile say that the cop was PSO of former SSP Shopia Shailendra Mishra. Jawaid Dar was with him until the Thursday afternoon. This comes after terrorists abducted an army rifleman Aurangzeb from a village in Pulwama. His body too was later recovered from Gusu village of the district. An imam was also recently shot by unknown assailants in Pulwama today.
देखिए, जम्मू कश्मीर में शांति हो, अमन हो और जम्मू कश्मीर में विकास के साथ लोग जुड़ना चाहते हैं। ये जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों का भी यही प्राथमिकता है, प्रायोरिटी है। और मैं मानता हूं कि कुछ ऐसी हताश निराश ताकतें जरूर हैं जो जम्मू कश्मीर की शांति को नुकसान पहुंचाने की कोशिश करते हैं।
आतंकवादियों के ठिकानों को ध्वस्त किया है, आतंकवादियों की सप्लाई लाइन सारी काट दी गई है। बोखलाहट के अंदर आकर उन्होंने हमारे वीर सैनिक जावेद डार को किडनैप किया और बाद में उसकी निर्मम हत्या की गई। ये दरिंदे कर सकते हैं और इन सब को चुन चुन के मौत के घाट उतारेंगे। सेना ने सारे शोपियान और कुलगाम एरिया को कॉर्डन ऑफ कर दिया गया है। पुलवामा का एरिया हो, चाडूरा का एरिया हो, एक बहुत बड़ा लार्ज स्केल पर मैसिव हंट ऑपरेशन इस समय सेना ने शुरू किया है।
दिस इज सैड, ट्रेजिक, कंडेमनेबल. Is not a policeman in ordinary circumstances. There is a governor rule. There is no local government. And even now, if policeman is not safe, how I could be safe? How a common man could feel safe?
I think the state should respond in a manner that would be appropriate, both in terms of investigation and apprehending the perpetrators, the terrorists, and carrying out a kind of retribution that would serve as a deterrent. And I'm saying this very, I would say, as objectively as I can, because I think one of the indicators is the credibility of the state.
India Today's Shuja ul Haq joins us for the latest on this recent incident of abduction and the killing of a constable. Shuja, this is a very disturbing trend. I want to know that why is it, despite several advisories and information given out to cops or other security personnel, this is not being checked? What is the latest and what are you hearing from the senior cops?
Well, Avantika, those are things that definitely will have to be investigated. You know, as you were pointing out, there definitely have been several, advisories that have been sent across at various times by the police department and the other security forces to its men, for them to follow while going on leave or taking, a break from the work. Whether that was followed in this case or not is something that they will have to investigate. But yes, it is a disturbing trend because, in a similar manner, just about a couple of weeks back, the army soldier Aurangzeb was also, kidnapped and then subsequently killed. Police department and the other investigating agencies have been saying that they are trying to find out who are behind these acts and whether there was any link between the manner that these two, men of the security forces were, abducted and later on killed. Because in Aurangzeb's case also, he was being seen close to one major who was active in the operations in the area. And in his case also, in Jawaid Ahmed's case also, he has been close to an officer who has been the SSP of Shopian just till recently and been very active in operations against militants there. So they are trying to find out whether there are any links, between the two cases. But as of now, investigations are on. They're trying to find out all the details which will be shared on with us subsequently.
All right, Shuja, thank you so much for joining us. Meanwhile, in some other news and in some positive news, in a big win for the armed forces, the army and the police in a joint operation busted a terror hideout in Pooch's district in Mendhar on Thursday. Acting upon strong inputs of the presence of terrorists in the area, There was a massive search operation that was first launched, and then a huge cache of arms and ammunition that was recovered from the forest area of Mendar. And you're taking a look at what was recovered after the search operation was held by the combined forces. In fact, they recovered 2 AK-56 rifles, 3 pistols, 4 hand grenades, 11 IEDs along with detonators, and a huge number of other warlike equipment. A methodical search of this area was also complemented by the use of deep search metal detectors, which led to this massive recovery of weapons and ammunition. Meanwhile, Pakistan backer and Duktaran-e-Millat chief Asya Andrabi continues to face heat over her continuous rants. In fact, NIA has now shifted the separatist leader Asya Andrabi and 2 of her associates to Delhi in connection with the sedition case. Asya Andrabi has been brought to Delhi from Central Jail in Srinagar, where she, along with her associates, will now be produced in the NIA special court shortly. NIA will be seeking police custody of separatist leader for interrogation. The NIA has recently filed an FIR against Asya Andrabi for allegedly advocating secession of Jammu and Kashmir from the Union of India and calling out for jihad and waging war against the establishment. She has also been booked under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Meanwhile, in some other news, and moving on from Jammu and Kashmir dismissing a petition filed by former Law Minister Shanti Bhushan, the Supreme Court reiterated that the Chief Justice is the master of roster and has power to allocate cases to different benches. Bhushan's petition had called for a panel of senior judges to decide on rostering of judges and assigning cases. Supreme Court has once again reinforced that the CJI alone is the master of roster and there can be no check on the power of the Chief Justice of India. It also cautions against any quote-unquote tinkering, as it could hurt the independence of judiciary, which means that Chief Justice of India doesn't have to consult the collegium while fixing benches. It was in January when 4 senior judges of the Supreme Court had raised questions about Mishra's role as the master of the roster. They even questioned the Chief Justice for bypassing established traditions of the court while assigning cases to the benches. Anusha Soni joins us for more on this. Anusha, so, now that it has been once again reiterated and reinforced that the Supreme Court's Chief Justice of India is the master of roster, what about the doubts and the questions that were raised by the senior-most judges? They, after all, were the senior-most of the apex court, and they went public in questioning Deepak Mishra and even accused him of impropriety.
That's absolutely right, Avantika. And those questions and those doubts continue to remain, unaddressed in the institutional sense. The questions that the 4 judges had raised, and even the petition of Shanti Bhushan, basically had called for a mechanism to ensure that whenever sensitive cases are allocated, the administration of the Supreme Court is done in a transparent manner. There were repeated petitions. This is not the first judgment in the latest spate of judgments which has come in. And once again, it reiterates that the Supreme Court, it is indeed the Chief Justice of India alone who will decide everything. And the only failure here is that the court has not been able to come up with a mechanism which can deal with any sort of controversy when it comes to allocation of cases, especially the politically sensitive cases.
Thanks so much for joining us. Meanwhile, despite Supreme Court's crucial judgment on the Delhi power tussle, the transfer of bureaucrats still seems to be the sticking point between the Aam Aadmi Party and the bureaucracy. Top sources claim the Delhi government is deliberating now to move court if the Chief Secretary does not abide by the government's decision on postings. Government sources feel bureaucrats are in no mood to work under direct orders from the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who will be meeting Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal later in the day over the simmering issue after he wrote to him yesterday. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor's office has also sought clarity from the Ministry of Home Affairs on the top court's verdict. Sources suggest that the Home Ministry might soon issue direction in this regard. Just hours after the Supreme Court's crucial verdict, Delhi government issued an order on the officers' postings, Secretary Services had forwarded the order to the Chief Secretary, who sent it back saying that they don't have enough clarity. In fact, a top Delhi bureaucrat claims Ministry of Home Affairs notification has not been struck down just as yet.
Nobody stopped you from delivering on water. Nobody stopped you from Jal Board from working. Nobody stopped BSES from putting up transformers. Nobody has stopped you from cleaning roads. Nobody has stopped you from maintaining roads. Nobody has stopped you from giving good education, and nobody stopped you from giving health care. So end of the day, the factor is that you cannot do illegal and make those illegal orders as legal under the garb of smoke screen of LG.
देखिए, ये दोनों तकरार करके दिल्ली की जनता को परेशानी में डाल रहे हैं। 4 साल से वैसे भी कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है दिल्ली में, तो कन्फ्रंटेशन छोड़ के विकास की बात करनी चाहिए। और दोनों दलों ने कॉरपोरेशन पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी का तीनों कब्जा है, दिल्ली की असेंबली पर और सरकार पे आम आदमी पार्टी का कब्जा है, और ये दोनों दिल्ली की जनता का काम करने के बजाय अपने टग ऑफ वार में दिल्ली की जनता को परेशानी में डाले हुए हैं। ये बहुत ही अफसोसनाक बात है।
Pooja Shali joins us now for more. Pooja, this is a strange scenario. You have the Supreme Court clarifying that an elected government cannot be undermined by an unelected administrator, in this regard the Lieutenant Governor. Then you have Arun Jaitley's blog saying that the Supreme Court's verdict doesn't in any way dilute the centre's power. And there is also the lack of trust between the bureaucracy and the political establishment. So where do things stand now? There are several grey areas that still remain to be clarified.
Absolutely, Avantika. This is the grey area specifically of services which is creating a confrontation. So let's just understand the issue. It happened that after Supreme Court verdict, the government immediately gave directions to say that all IAS and the DANITS officers will now be under complete authority of the Chief Minister's office, because the Supreme Court has said, apart from 3 issues, everything else will be with the elected government, which they interpreted as services as well. However, Chief Secretary and other bureaucrats believe that there is another bench, the division bench of Supreme Court, that was yet to clarify further on it, and this was primarily constitutional issues, and that clarity till it comes for services, postings and authority to CM, they will not pass this order. And for this, not only sources now, Avantika, even Deputy Chief Minister and Chief Minister officially via social media also have now said that this will not be in anybody's interest. This will be contempt of court if orders are not cleared. So now, of course, bureaucrats also will have to figure out what would be the next step. Many are saying it would have been better to take bureaucrats in confidence first before having passed that order. But now that the directions have gone out, we'll wait and watch how this pans out.
All right, Pooja, we'll have to wait and watch as to what happens next. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, and let's also update our viewers about the weather situation in the state of Maharashtra. Heavy rainfall has caused waterlogging in the hospital in Gondia district of the state. In fact, the government hospital is submerged in knee-deep water. Even the operation theatre, would you believe this, and the wards are heavily waterlogged. Just take a look at the mess that this hospital is in. It's a government hospital, and take a look at the kind of inconvenience caused to the patients and also to the doctors and nurses attending to them. Situation in Nagpur is no different, as Vidhan Bhavan building remains waterlogged due to the heavy downpour. Power supply was also snapped. Water seeped into the circuit room of the house. Vidhan Bhavan is where the winter session of Parliament legislature is usually held. The incidence of waterlogging once again exposes the government's civic apathy after the rain resulted in roads caving in Mumbai, and also what one got to see with a foot-over bridge collapsing. Pankaj Khelkar joins us now for more on the situation. Pankaj, so just give us a quick update, a wrap of the situation from across various parts of Maharashtra. These are very, very disturbing visuals of water entering into hospitals, flooding the wards and also other important areas of the state.
These continuous rains mostly in Vidarbha and Marathwada area, particularly in Vidarbha, Gondia, Bhandara and Nagpur. This has caused all this havoc. Water entering into hospitals and the patients suffering, the operations suffering, the doctors. You can see in the visuals that the almost 20 to 30 beds and the patients walking all around with water inside the wards. So it is pathetic condition, and all because of the civic mismanagement or misadministration that such a condition has happened in Bhandara, one of the government hospitals. Same is the condition in Nagpur, and that is much more worse. And it also shows what kind of preparations the state government has had.
Absolutely.
Now the water logging inside the Vidhan Sabha, the assembly session is going on, and first time in 47 years that this monsoon session was taken from Mumbai, shifted to Nagpur, that is the second capital of Maharashtra, and such a condition has happened. Second day, consecutive day, and no session took place.
Right. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for getting us an update. Meanwhile, the overall flood situation in Assam has also been deteriorating, with nearly 50,000 people reeling under the deluge in 7 districts across the state. 82 villages have been affected by the floods, with the Brahmaputra river flowing above the danger level mark. It has already crossed the warning level marks at Guwahati and other districts following incessant rainfall. Assam, Arunachal Pradesh have also been affected. Many people have been forced to take shelter at several safer places, with flood water entering their homes. Around 490 hectares of agricultural land lies submerged under the flood waters. 32 people have lost their lives as far as the rain is concerned. SDRF teams are also engaged in the rescue operation in all of the flood-hit districts and also in the evacuation of people.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.